Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Hello, hello. How are you? I hope you are having a fantastic, great start to your Tuesday. We have a busy, huge busy day today. Okay. So, first, we're going to talk Morgan Geyser. I have so much to tell you guys about that. Then there's a redirect, so nobody has to really do anything. At 10:30, Miss Bootleg Demon Charo, Lori Vallow, Daybell, has a pretrial hearing. It's probably one of the last pretrial hearings she's going to have before her trial is scheduled to begin. Her trial is scheduled to begin March 31st. Okay. But when a court says the trial is scheduled to begin, they're talking about jury selection. The judge says that he expects opening statements to begin April 7th or 8th, somewhere in that time. Don't you worry. I will be keeping both of my eyes on the situation. And as soon as opening statements are ready and they're ready to make them or whatever, you know what I mean? I'm going to stream the trial all day, every witness, every objection made by Lori every time she wears that hairdo that looks like a cowardly lion and a Shih Tzu, all of it, every single day. So you don't want to miss out on that if you're interested in that case. Also, hi Pointer. Let me say hi to you guys first. Let me just not be rude. Hey, Sarah Sarah Bellum. Good morning, Carol. Good morning, Ava. First time here. Well, welcome in. Glad to have you. Queen Bella, hello. Pointer Lover, hello. Good to see you. All right. Good morning, Violet. Welcome in. All right. I want to tell you guys. So last night, I went and rewatched Beware the Slender Man. That's a documentary that's on Max, which it's actually really a good documentary. It's like half about the actual case and half about the underlying theme of the case, like how Slender Man came to be, why his story became popular, all those things. It's definitely good. Check it out. Then I went and I watched The Slender Man Stabbings, The Untold Story. That one is available on Apple TV, but it's also available on YouTube. You just have to pay for it. You also have to pay for it on Apple TV. I watched it on YouTube because it was cheaper. Anywho, so remember how we were wondering last night about the situation with the girls being interrogated without their parents? Okay, got to the bottom of that. According to Morgan's mom, they did get a call from law enforcement. And basically, what they were told was something has happened with Morgan, Anissa, and Payton, and we need to talk to Morgan about it. Her mom and her dad were under the impression that that Payton was hurt and that Morgan was a witness to her being hurt, not that she was a suspect in a stabbing. And all they had to do, see, this is tricky because all they had to do was tell their parents, tell Morgan and Anissa's parents were that they wanted to ask the girls some questions, and all they had to do was get consent. That's it. That's all. The police can lie to you, okay? And now I have a much better understanding of why Morgan was said to have been running the show, been the leader, and Anissa was just a follower. Okay, um, not I'm not saying that I agree with that, but by any means, we're going to get into it. But when the call went out for 911, okay, the detectives were dispatched, and the one of the detectives went to the hospital. They met um, Peyton's ambulance as she was being taken out of it, and Payton said that Morgan did this. And then when she was out of surgery and she could speak and all of that, she did give an interview to the law enforcement, and she explained it. What she said was that Morgan is the one who stabbed her, and Anissa just stood there and watched. And I think from that moment on, oh, True Crime Tea, welcome in. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm glad you like my commentary. Good morning, Nitka Ditka. Good morning, Chicken Shite. So, good morning, Rachel Lee. So that is how they were able to question the girls without their parents being present. They got permission. Good morning, Mrs. Troy. Good to see you, babe. So that's how that happened. And I thought that that was rather interesting. Excuse me, Mac and Alice. You were not the second and third co-hosts on the channel today. The cats are having a little bit of beef. Good morning, Mr. Shine. Good to see you. So that's how they were able to speak to the girls. They did get parental consent, but, and I got to say, the first documentary, Beware the Slender Man, um, Anissa's parents participated in that. They did not participate in the second documentary that I watched. So the second documentary, the Slender Man stabbing, the untold story, that focused on the crime itself, but mainly it focused on Morgan. Oh, Nitka, I'm so sorry, babe. About your kitty that didn't come. I'm sorry, honey. Cats, that's how I'm so sorry. But yeah, that's how that's all came to be. Now, this morning we're going to listen to, and we have to be on a tight schedule. It's a 2-hour interrogation. We may have to speed Morgan up just a scotch because I want to make sure we get through it and that we have plenty of time to join Lori representing herself. So I think that if you haven't watched, hey, Carolyn Cooper, good to see you. Thank you. MJ. I do adore MJ, and I'm glad I'll have to thank her for recommending me. I appreciate that. Yes, Pointer Lover, they do want to be paid in treats for their hard work on the channel. Being co-hosts and all. Jackasses. Anyway, so we're going to speed her up and just to 1.25. So you really won't notice and it won't change anything. But keep in mind what we listened to yesterday. And I think at some point, I'm working on a Todd Mullis, like a total recap of what happened in the what the heck were they? Post-conviction relief hearing, and putting it into context with the things that happened in the original trial. So that'll be out. But I also want to do some side-by-side talking with the girls' interrogation because, it's quite interesting, the side by side. And the thing of it is, what I noticed in those documentaries, I don't want to like mislead anybody. Okay. The documentaries are good for what they are. Okay. A documentary is limited in the length it can be. I mean, I suppose if they wanted to do 11 billion parts, they could, right? So they got to put in the most important things or the things that they think are most important. And when that happens, some things get taken and moved around and they're sort of out of context. It's not an effort to, excuse me, I didn't mean to burp coffee. It's not to mislead. I don't think it's intentional, but I do think that it's problematic. And so I think that if you see a true crime documentary and you are interested in the case, come to YouTube and try to find the interrogations in totality, because the parts that how they put it together tells a story that's, I think, a little bit skewed. And I think the second documentary, the Slender Man Stabbings, The Untold Story, I think that documentary is an attempt to sort of straighten that out. But we're going to listen. Good morning, Preschool Granny. Good morning, Carol. It's so good to see all of you guys. Chicken Shite. Oh, thank you, Nick Kadika. Ever since the Megan trial, I've realized what my mornings have been missing. It's you. I love your lives. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's so sweet. All right, no more jibber jabber from Jen. Let's get into it immediately. Here we go.
I'm a detective here at the Waukesha Police Department. Okay. And something happened today with it's like two of your friends, and so I got to talk to you about that for a little bit.
Okay.
So I got some questions for you today. But just before that, I just want to find out a little bit more about you.
Okay, I forgot to mention, you'll notice how Morgan is dressed, okay? So what happened before this is Morgan's clothing, socks. She was photographed. Her nails were clipped, scrapings under her nail, the buccal swab, all the things were done first to her. And then they went in and took it from Anissa. So that's why Morgan is in this attire. All right, here we go.
So it's Morgan Geyser, is that how you say it? And you were born in 5/16/02?
Yeah.
How old are you? So you just had a birthday not too long ago? What'd you do for your birthday?
That's another thing. It's important to keep in mind that Morgan just turned 12. This is on the 31st of May. She turned 12 the 16th.
It's all right.
Oh yeah. Mommy and I had sushi and cupcakes, and Daddy.
Do you live with your mom and dad, or just one?
Both.
So you and your mom had sushi? Where'd you have sushi at?
My daddy was there too. At home.
You guys bought it someplace and brought it home? How'd you like that?
That's fun.
What's your favorite kind of sushi?
I only eat stuff with vegetables.
That's funny, my daughter just had her 11th birthday, and we had her birthday too. You're a year older than her though, but her birthday was last week too. Pretty close in age. It's funny that you guys both like sushi. So you had sushi before that, or is that sort of the first time? So did you guys get presents for your birthday? What'd you get?
Just to a Star Trek convention.
Where's that at?
I don't know.
When is it coming up, or
It's soon.
you like Star Trek?
Yeah.
Who likes Star Trek, your mom or dad?
Both.
Really? Did you dress up for Star Trek stuff for Halloween? What were you last year?
This year or the year before?
Tell me both.
I was Spock this year, and then last year.
Spock?
And last year I was a vampire.
That doesn't sound like it's Star Trek related.
Nope.
How'd you pick a vampire?
Because all the other costumes looked a bit showy.
Very much showy.
I mean, I don't like wearing short sleeves or poofy stuff. They were too revealing.
That makes sense. Where are you going to school at?
Renee?
What grade are you?
6th grade.
How do you do in school? How are your grades?
I think I do pretty good.
You graduate this year?
What?
You gonna graduate? School's almost over in a couple weeks here. What do you think? So did you guys get like ABs and C's, or do you get like
Oh, we get
O's?
1s, 2s.
1, 2s, and 3s? That always confuses me how they do 1, 2, 3s, and 4s. So my kids get too. And then do they do like O's and O pluses and O minuses?
I don't know what that is.
No, I think it's like outstanding, satisfactory. When's your last day of school come out?
I don't know. I'm not excited though because I like school.
Really? That's good. My daughter's like that. My daughter likes school. She'd go year round. My son doesn't like school at all. He'd rather not have anything to do with school at all.
Snacks right now.
Perfect. You want to try these? See if they'll keep your feet a little bit warmer. And you won't get your feet on the dirty floor here.
How do these work?
Let me see. Yeah, maybe just pull over the top there a
Is
little
it
bit.
like in the operating room?
Yeah, a little bit. It's like you're going to be a nurse or a doctor or something here. So you know who the president is right now?
What?
Do you know who the president of the United States is?
Yes.
Who's that?
Barack Obama.
I'm going to try not to pause too much. I forgot to speed this up a little bit too, but I have to for fair use commentary. Also, the link to the channel that I got this interrogation video from is in the description. It's Down the Rabbit Hole True Crime. Go check them out. But when this detective was interviewed for this Slender Man stabbings, the Untold Story documentary, he explained exactly why he asked this question. He asked this question to judge Morgan's state of mind. He said he did it. So I don't know why you would ask a question like that to judge somebody's state of mind if you weren't concerned about their state of mind in the first place. However, I'm willing to say also that it's quite possible that it was just dotting the I's and crossing the T's, and this is standard protocol. But the other detective, the female detective, did not ask Anissa that. So it's just food for thought, just things that I've noticed. And I also want to be clear here. Even though I do agree that Morgan has mental illness, okay, I think that's been well established. It doesn't negate the crime, and it doesn't negate a need to be accountable for that crime. I want to make that very, very clear. Two things can be true at the same time. I don't see things black and white because we're dealing with human beings, and we all know that just won't work. All right, so here we go.
You watch the news at all?
Only when I'm at my grandma Anissa's house. And that's not very often because they don't live very close. But sometimes Grandpa watches the news in the morning.
What do you remember seeing in the news that's going on lately?
Gross things.
What's gross things?
Kidnapping children and then doing things to them.
Remember which time or specific incident?
Not really. I don't really pay much attention, but it's all gross.
It's all gross. What's your teacher's name at school?
I have lots of teachers.
How about your homeroom teacher?
I don't have a homeroom teacher.
How was your favorite teacher?
Miss Leidenbaum.
Miss what?
Miss Leidenbaum.
Matt?
Miss Leidenbaum.
Miss? Why do you like her?
Because she's nice.
What subject does she teach you?
Reading and writing.
Do you know where you're at right now?
What?
Do you know where you are right now?
Not really.
Where do you think you are?
At a police station.
you know what day of the week it is?
It's Saturday.
You know what the number is? You know what month it is?
May
You know what number?
5,
What year?
2014.
So today they asked me to come in and talk to you a little bit about what's been going on with you. So it seems like you and your friends have something that happened this morning, and I'm not sure how far back that went. So I got to try to get an understanding sort of about what's all going on here with your friends. Okay. So, but before I do that, I got to read you a couple questions.
Okay.
Okay. Have you ever had your rights read to you before?
Yes.
What was that for?
Earlier today when I was in a car with the police officer. Like, I don't know, like 20 minutes ago.
Did you understand the reason?
Yeah. Anissa had already told me them.
Anissa told you?
I don't think so. Violet says, do kids say number these days? Do you know the number? No, they say the date. I'm not sure why he asked the question that way. It's kind of an odd thing, which is why Morgan was confused about the question he was asking her. I was confused a little bit about the question he was trying to ask her. Let's go back and see what she said about Anissa real quick.
Anissa had already told me them.
Did you understand the reason?
Yeah. Anissa had already told me them.
Anissa told you? Is there any that you didn't know what they were? Any questions about them? So they just gotta fill this out here. And I'm gonna ask you some questions and ask you to sign something for me. Okay?
Why did I have to sign?
Just so that you know that you sort of understood it. I mean, you're starting to be a little bit older here, and so we know that we're talking about the same thing. So I don't try to switch something and say, oh, no, I really asked you something different. That wasn't really what we talked about. So it's just sort of you acknowledging, yeah, this is what I said to you, and this is what I understand. Did you read and write okay?
What?
Did you read and write? Did you do cursive or printing?
I don't know cursive. I wasn't paying attention, I don't think. I was, but I was really bad at it, so then I stopped paying attention when we got to. And I think it was in 3rd grade.
Do you know what city you were born in?
Oregon?
Yeah.
No.
Waukesha, Milwaukee. You know what hospital?
No.
Is it around here, you think? So these are your rights that you got read before. It says you have the right to remain silent. That basically means if you don't want to talk, you don't have to. If you decide to give up that right, anything you may say may be used against you in court. You have the right to consult with an attorney, have an attorney present during questioning. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided to you at court. Understanding these rights, you're willing to sit down and talk to me about today? Can you do me a favor and initial right there and sign right there?
Now, I want to say something about this. There is understanding in that she knows what all of those words mean. Each individual word means, all right? She's literate. She's 12, okay? But there's actually understanding what those words as they're put together in that way, in that order, means. And I don't give a rat's fat kneecap. I do not think that a 12-year-old can actually fully understand when they sign that and they agree to talk to police in a situation like this. I don't think that they understand the full ramifications of what waiving their Miranda rights means. I have a real issue with this.
Here?
Yeah. Is that what usually will depend?
Yeah.
No way.
And Chicken Shite is correct. They have to know she's off. This is a whole different type of interrogation. I think she showed signs in the car on the way there and during taking pics of her clothes. So they did show some of that in that second documentary of what her behavior was like in the interrogation room when they were collecting the evidence, and she asked, "What are you doing? Why?" Um, they were normal questions, but it was like her like she was speaking, but her tone is sort of, it's flat, but at the same time, who she remind her the way that she speaks reminds me of like Luna Lovegood, or is that her last name? Luna Love from Harry Potter. Harry, like that kind of airy, kind of not all the way, like her head's in the clouds a little bit. It's yeah. All right, let's keep going.
Are you slapped writer?
No. Do I write my name?
Yeah, Morgan. Geyser.
Okay.
Can you put your
If you're having to tell her that her name is, this is a little problematic for me.
initials right there? G. You're up by the S. And I'm gonna sign it here too, so we both know that we're talking about the same piece of paper. So we can say it's just something different later. So what's going on with you? Why do you think you're here today?
Because Anissa and I ran off after hurting Bella.
Tell me what happened with Bella.
What do you mean?
Tell me what happened when you first woke up this morning. Let's just start off, tell me how your day was.
Anissa and I woke up at like 5:30 in the morning, and it was before Bella, so we went downstairs and we took quizzes on Quotab.
Mm-hmm.
And they were really weird. It was like, what
And what website?
Quotab.com.
Quotab?
It's a quiz website.
Is that QU?
OTEM.
So you're taking quizzes, and then what happened?
And then Bella woke up and came downstairs by us. And then we took more quizzes with her this time. And then my mom woke up. And she gave us donuts and strawberries. My brother was at the table too, and he was eating, and she was standing because we only have enough room for 4 people at our table.
Okay, then what happened?
And then we went upstairs and played with Silly Putty.
Oh, who went upstairs?
Bella, Anissa, and I.
Okay.
And then we played dress up, and I dressed up as Data, and Anissa dressed up as, she called it a prostitute. It was sort of inappropriate.
Where'd you find the clothes?
They were mine, that I collected over the years from like concerts and stuff and Halloween. And Bella was a princess. And then Anissa suggested that we get changed. And then when Bella went to get changed, we sat and waited for her to finish. And then it was Anissa's turn. And so then Bella found a granola bar that Anissa had. So I took it and I opened it and then I put it in the Silly Putty. And then she came back and she thought it was funny. And then she threw the Silly Putty at the ceiling. And she was like, wait, it's sticky now. And then since it was sticky now, we had to get it off of the ceiling, I think. And then I had to get changed out of my costume. And then Anissa had to go to the bathroom. So she came to the bathroom and I got changed in the shower. And then she insisted on applying lipstick. And then and then I was wearing lipstick. And she was wearing lipstick.
Mm-hmm. And then what happened?
I would be remiss if I didn't point out that I notice a stark difference in Morgan's way of telling what happened versus Anissa's way of telling what happened. The gist of the narrative is the same, okay? But what's Morgan was not Morgan. Anissa was very specific about times, what time, how long, where. Morgan is like, we were playing, we took some quizzes, we got up at 5. People typically know what time they get up because usually the first thing people do is either back in the day they looked at their clock right next to the bed, or now we look at our phone. So that doesn't surprise me that she knew what time it was that she woke up, but the rest of the narrative is sort of, yeah, well, kind of typical 12-year-old.
And then we came back upstairs and we played with my cat. And then Anissa told me to grab my things and because we decided to go to the park. And then we took Bella to the park with us.
So the three of you was in the park?
Mm-hmm.
And
then we played on the slide for a little bit. We went in the bathroom. And then we were singing songs. And then Anissa suggested that we go for a walk. And then she jumped on Bella. And she held her to the floor.
Wait, Anissa did this?
Mm-hmm.
Where did this happen at?
In some trees.
How'd you guys end up by the trees?
Because we were going to look at plants and stuff.
How far off the road was it?
Not very. And then we stopped her.
And you stopped her?
With a knife.
You stopped her from what?
Huh?
You stopped her from what?
A knife.
How did you stop her?
I said stab.
Oh, stabbed her?
Mm-hmm.
So, this happened in the woods?
It wasn't in the woods, it was just a little group of trees.
So, off, where Big Bend Road is?
Mm-hmm. It was by a dead end, and there was a red X.
How far off the road were you?
Not very. A few feet.
So, did you guys talk about doing this beforehand?
Anissa told me we had to.
Why?
Because she said that he'd kill our families.
See, this is another difference. And these are just things that I have noticed. Good morning, Margie. Good to see you, babe. When Anissa talks about where all of this occurred, right? She knows what street names. And more than that, she gives landmarks. Where, is, there's a this on the road and a that on the. She gives much better directions than Morgan here. Just things I noticed.
Who's he?
A man. I didn't know him, but Anissa knew him.
How'd she know?
I don't know. Anissa told me about him.
So, when you guys went back into the woods, did Payton know anything about, or Bella know anything about this?
No.
Where'd you guys get the knife from?
My kitchen.
Your kitchen?
Anissa did.
So, who left the house with it?
I think Anissa did. It was in the bag. Anissa packed the bag. We both packed the bag. We knew about this since December. One day she just told me that we had to.
What do you mean she told you you had to?
I mean, she told us we had to kill her.
Who did?
Anissa.
When she says us, what do you mean us? Who's us? You mean the two of you, or is there somebody else?
There's nobody else.
So you guys have been playing this a while?
Since December. She was my best friend since 4th grade.
Who was?
Payton.
So why did you pick Payton?
I didn't pick her.
Who picked her?
Whoever Anissa was talking about. She made it seem necessary, and I figured if it was necessary, then I would.
So the person that talked to Anissa told him who to do it?
Yep. It was more of a message. I don't know. She didn't go very in depth.
So what else have you guys been doing to plan for this? Just talking about it? The two of you? Does anybody else know about it?
No.
So how did you know how to, what were you trying to do with her when you stabbed her?
Kill her. I might as well just say it. We were trying to kill her. I don't know why it was necessary that it was her, but it seemed very necessary. This is going to get me arrested, isn't it? I won't take back any of it.
You won't take it back because it's all the truth?
It's all the truth.
And that's what's important here, is to tell the truth.
I know. One time I got suspended because I accidentally brought a hammer to school.
Why'd you bring the hammer to school?
Because I was cleaning my room and I shoved it in my backpack. So I know that it's important to tell the truth.
How long ago was that?
A while ago. It was this year, though. But it was an accident. I thought you should know.
Like how earlier this year?
At the beginning.
So did you use that hammer to hurt somebody? Or?
No, it was an accident.
An accident?
We've been over it. I went over it with the principal. I figure you have access to all those files if you need more information, so I might just tell you.
You're a pretty smart girl.
I read a lot of books about things like this in the library.
What kind of books do you read?
I read a lot of books. I read medical dictionaries, I read Harry Potter, I read Star Trek books, I read just random books that I get from this one section about like the police and things.
So let's get back a little bit. So what Anissa told you that somebody told her or that it was necessary to kill?
I was confused a little bit.
What do you mean you're confused?
I didn't really understand what we were doing, but I was the one who, final kill. I don't know if she's alive though.
She's alive.
Crying. Good.
What do you mean you were confused?
I mean, I didn't know exactly why we were. I really didn't want to make Anissa mad. It's, hard enough to make friends. I don't want to lose them over something like this. And I don't know what happened if I didn't. It's like, free and it's our fault. And she should, before we take full responsibility.
So you guys, so Anissa told you that you guys should kill her?
Mm-hmm.
She thought it was necessary?
She thought it was necessary.
So what happened when you guys walked down there today?
Down where?
Down on Big Bend Road, down by the trees. Tell me how this all happened.
Which trees? Like when?
The trees where she got hurt? Yeah. So hold on back a minute.
So we pretend
So where did you guys get the knife from?
my kitchen, I just said that.
Okay. And who put it in the bag?
I think Anissa told me to. Anissa might as well. It's sort of foggy, because I've been trying to block it out.
So you're not sure who put it?
Okay. Look, I think that part of the reason that the cops are acting this way is because, quite frankly, and they've said this, they were just freaking shocked. First of all, they couldn't believe that this had happened, right? That this officer thought that it was some sort of self-harm pact and that they were all three going to do it, and that maybe Anissa and Morgan backed out at the last minute and didn't. That was his initial impression. And they're both floored at how emotionless they're able to recount this story. But there is a part in this that I want to go back to when she asks about, am I going to be arrested for this? I wouldn't take it back. Notice he doesn't actually answer her, number one, because the truth of the matter is, yeah, Morgan, you're going to be arrested for this. And he knows that. And but I think that I wouldn't take it back if I was. I think that was misinterpreted by this detective. I think that I know because he said it, that when he said that the reason he felt that Morgan was the leader is because her lack of remorse. Anissa was in there crying and saying that she regretted it, where Morgan didn't say that. And he said specifically, she said she wouldn't take it back, but he's talking about, unless she says it again. But yeah. She's actually going to be released on the 21st of March. So Friday, she'll be released. She's got conditional release, and we're going to get into all of that because there was a lot of legal wrangling that went on in between 2014 when this happened, 2017 when Anissa went on trial, and 2018 with Morgan. So we're going to get into all of that, but felt like if you don't know the case or it's been a long time, the best place to start would be at the beginning, which is on May 31st with their interrogations. So let's keep going.
Whose purse was that you guys had today?
It was my mommy's, but she gave it to me, I think, in like first grade for a dress up.
So you guys end up at your house. You guys get the knife from your house. Then you guys go down to the park.
My parents had nothing to do with this, I promise.
They seem like very nice people. So you guys when you say you guys have been planning this from December, when did you decide that you were going to do this today?
In December, she said.
But how'd you know that May 31st, 2014 was?
We didn't know it was going to be May 31st. We knew it was going to be at my birthday sleepover. We had no idea how difficult it was not to tell anyone. Truth be told, I wanted to be locked up so that I couldn't hurt her, but that's time to trust and know I'm in here because we were careless. I knew this would happen. I knew we'd get in trouble.
Well, we're just trying to sort this all out right now to figure out what all happened. So you want to get locked up so you can control?
I didn't really genuinely want to be locked up, but at one point I sort of did. It seemed...
So you decided a while ago that on the sleepover night that this is what you did?
Yeah.
Why do you think it was your sleepover night?
Because we would all be together. It was a flawless plan, actually. I don't know exactly why, though.
Okay, I do have a little bit of sympathy for both of these detectives because I really don't think that this is something that they would cover in detectiving school, as it were. Like, I don't know how there would be any sort of preparation to hear a 12-year-old say the things that Morgan has already said and is about to say with and with respect to the fact that the crime she's in this moment, we know how it turns out, but in this moment, she hasn't been actually charged with anything, right? All they know is that what Payton has said at the hospital, and then, they took her back, said to save her life. But bottom line is, I don't think there's any preparation for listening to a 12-year-old tell you how they planned and carried out this plan to murder another 12-year-old. I just don't think that there's anything in the world that can prepare you for that. Listen, I'm the least pearl clutchingest girl I know. It takes a lot to shock me. Congratulations, Morgan and Anissa, because you did shock me. I wasn't ready.
So you guys got the knife from your mom's house. You guys ended up going to the park.
Yeah.
And then you guys went down by the woods. Why did you guys go over by the woods?
Because we knew what we had to do. We led her there and tricked her. The last thing she said to me was, "I trusted you." And then she said, "I hate you." And then we lied to her. And Anissa said that she'd go get help. I didn't have anything to do with the lying, Mom. That was all Anissa. She said we were going to go get.
How did you trick her to get down there?
We said that we were going to go bird watching. People who trust you become very gullible, and it was sort of sad.
And there's another little difference that I want to point out here between what Morgan is saying and what Anissa is saying and how she is saying it. I think that let me just keep going because I had this thought and then it just poof right out of my brain. That's the kind of professionalism you'll get only here at the ward. Oh, when they're talking about why they did this, right? Anissa's reason for doing this is because she wanted to prove the skeptics wrong. She was very clear about that and adamant about that. She wanted to prove that Slender Man was real. Morgan didn't want to lose a friend, which, when you think about it rationally, if you intended to take the life of Payton, you would have been losing a friend. I just found that interesting that Morgan went along with it because she didn't say that she was afraid of Anissa, that she was scared of Anissa. No, she said what she was scared of was Anissa not being her friend anymore. That's what she was scared of, the loss of a friendship. The other thing, oh crap, I lost it again. It'll come back. Let me just push play.
Not like offensive, well, it's sad, but it was sad to do this.
So you guys told you were going on there bird watch, and then what happened?
And then we said that we were going to play hide and seek, and then Anissa jumped her, and then it was like, it happened really fast, and I keep trying to forget.
So you were playing hide and seek?
Mm-hmm. Because normally we like playing hide and seek, because hide and seek's a fun game. I like hiding.
So and then Anissa jumped her?
Mm-hmm. She said Morgan now. Well, actually she said Kitty, because our code names for each other were Scorpion and Kitty. She was Scorpion because she tends to be aggressive, things like that.
Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to tell you guys is this. So when we were listening to Anissa yesterday, right? Anissa took the role of essentially Morgan's protector, specifically against this one specific kid, right? But in that second documentary, The Slender Man Stabbing the Untold Story, I keep mentioning it because I don't want you guys to forget the title in case you want to check it out. Okay. So anyway, when I was watching that, they did have one of Anissa's former teachers in that documentary, and he said something quite interesting. He said that actually Anissa was bullied quite frequently, and that she would come into the class during recess sometimes or during lunch. Like, you know how in elementary school they have lunch and then after lunch they have recess, and then in between they have recess too. So bottom line is she came in frequently crying, and she would cry in the middle of class about being picked on, which I found interesting.
My name is Kitty because she sort of, I have 4 cats at home, and she says that I act like a cat sometimes.
So when she said Kitty now, what did she do?
Then he stabbed her.
Who stabbed her first?
I think he stabbed her first, and then I continued, and then she was like, Morgan, make sure she doesn't escape, and then it was like,
So you think that it was Anissa first?
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
Yeah. Not really. Sort of confusing because I've been trying to block out the screams all day.
See, this part to me is interesting as well, because as you guys know from yesterday, Anissa says many, many times that she did not stab Payton. And Payton backs up that story. Payton says all she did was stand there and watch. Does that make... I think that is Payton's interpretation. I cannot understand why Anissa would have been wearing gloves if she's telling the truth, right? Because there was a whole situation in the bathroom before this. So if she's telling the truth, Anissa, in that basically when they left the bathroom, it was somewhat decided that Morgan was going to be the one that did this. And why was Anissa wearing gloves in the first place? I suspect Anissa did participate in the stabbing. I do. I don't think she stabbed Payton as many times as Morgan did, but I do think she participated.
So how many times, so then how did you get the knife from Anissa?
She sort of just shoved it into my hand and there it was. And then I didn't know what I did. It sort of just happened. It didn't feel like anything. It was like air.
And I also think that Morgan is using, which is so odd to say. It's weird that my brain cannot reconcile what's about to come out of my mouth. But I've listened to 11 billion interrogations and confessions over the years. And the language that Morgan uses to describe what happened is, I think, far more common than what Anissa said. Morgan's like, it happened very fast. I don't remember all of the details. Whereas, and I was trying to block, and I was then, and I'm trying to now. I've been trying to block out all of this, right? I don't want to remember this. Where Anissa came across as, I don't know another way to say this, you guys, but to say it like call it like I see it, which is almost relishing in the details.
She put the knife in your hand, and what'd you do?
I just continued to. You know what happened, didn't you?
No, I actually really don't. Somebody else just like heard. They continued to stab her?
Mm-hmm. And then we decided that, and then Anissa said that it was enough, and then I was like, I can't see, and then I said, I'm sorry. This had to happen. And she was like, why? And I said that it was necessary. I can't explain why. Please don't cut off my head.
Nobody's gonna come through. So how many times do you think you stabbed her?
I don't know. It happened very quickly. All I heard was screaming.
How many times did you guess?
I don't know.
Then what happened?
And then it was sort of, we ran, and then
Where'd you run to?
we just ran forward. The rule is go forward until you get out of Waukesha.
So you ran through the woods, or did you run up the road?
We ran up the road. We were running, and then we hit in very tall grass. Not the tall grass that we were found in. And then these police officers showed up, so of course we hid.
So you ran up the road, like Big Bend Road?
Mm-hmm.
To where?
To the tall grass, but they were looking for us, and not the ones they found us in, but like the wheat grass stuff, and by all the trees.
Like by your house more?
I don't know.
Did you see other police looking for you today besides the one that eventually found you?
We saw the people by where the trees and the tall grass were.
Like police officers?
It was one police officer at first. So we sort of hid it for a while, and then we ran. They didn't see us, surprisingly.
Off the road?
Yeah. We just kept.
So Kami Sadie says, Morgan trying to block it out proves to me that she was not criminally mentally ill. If she were, then she would not think that she did anything wrong. This is really the crux of it, isn't it? I tend to agree. I do think that Morgan is mentally ill, and I do think that she's been diagnosed correctly with schizophrenia. I do think that it's something she is rather young. Usually, people don't start showing signs until they're, about 18, 19, 20, somewhere in that vicinity. However, because her father is a schizophrenic, it's obviously something that's can be passed down, and it was in this case. And I think this is why she showed signs earlier than the typical. But but I don't think that um, I don't know at this point if I believe that I'm not ready to say one way or the other whether her um, mental illness was such that she could not, appr- not only, I think yes, she could appreciate that what she was doing was wrong, but the real crux of that not guilty by reason of insanity defense is it's two things. You have to, um, I think so one of it is that you cannot appreciate the wrongness of your actions and comport your behavior as such. So you have to be able to understand what you're doing is wrong and at the same time be able to stop yourself. And I am not sure how I feel about the stop yourself part. That's where I'm at right now. That could change.
Going forward and forward and forward until.
So when you ran that time after you saw the police officer, did you run through the woods and swamp behind Walgreens?
We just kept going forward.
Forward? Do you know which way you went then? What else did you see on your?
Well, Anissa said that we had to go to Walmart to refill our water bottles, and we did.
Which Walmart?
I don't know.
Is it like a food store one?
No.
The one over
It's a huge one.
on West Avenue?
Mm-hmm. So we refilled our water bottles and went to the bathroom and washed the blood off our hands. Well, I regret giving you this information later.
You know, this information will be used to try to get you some help, so you don't have to hear those screams and don't have to worry about hurting anybody anymore.
Okay.
That's the goal here, okay? So we got to figure out how we're going to do that.
Also, she said, I've been trying to block out the screaming in my head all day. And I think that I think that's an interesting response, and I wish that the detective had asked her what screams, because I'm curious to the answer to that. Is she, because she said all day. This would have happened in the morning, probably 10, maybe not somewhere between 9:30 and 10, I think it was. They're in the cop shop at like I think 3:45, 2:45, somewhere in that neighborhood. Um, but it's just I don't know. I'm curious. I just wish I wish she would have asked. But I have to say, at the end of the day, I don't know if I would have even thought about that to ask. I would be so floored about what was coming out of her mouth in the way that it was coming out of her mouth.
So is it the Walmart over by PDQ? You know where that's at?
Mm-hmm.
Or you think that's when you went to?
Sure, I don't know.
You don't know? Is there anything else you remember that was around there?
No, I just remember that we went forward and forward and forward, and then we passed a bunch of buildings. We went through downtown Waukesha. We went everywhere, and actually we were singing the whole time. We just started singing songs to each other. We were surprisingly calm, actually. It was like we hadn't just killed someone, or thought that we killed someone or stabbed someone.
So how did you guys get a ride from anybody?
Right. I agree with Violet here. Violet says you also have to consider the unfortunate trifecta of her biological age, predisposition to mental illness, and the social isolation of not having friends, being bullied, etc. In my opinion, it all played a part, right? I don't think the question here is, did they do this? I think that's pretty effing clear. They did it. They've said they did it. They don't have a problem saying they did it. They did it, right? I think the question for me anyway is, now what? And how do we take steps to prevent a situation like this from occurring again? What can people, human beings, do? What can we learn from this horrific crime to be better? What are the warning signs? What can parents do? What can caregivers do? What can grandparents do? What can we look out for? That's really, for me anyway, the question. And at the end of the day, it doesn't excuse what she did at all. And both girls have to be held accountable. The question is, how do we hold them accountable? What is the right punishment? Also, let me say good morning. Good morning, Shabita. Good morning, boss lady. And good morning, Tony. Good to see you guys. All right, let's keep going.
Just kept walking.
No, we got there by ourselves.
Do you remember walking around the railroad tracks or a street?
We walked across the railroad tracks one time, and we went into a few like ditches with forests and trees. And I remember we tried to find Slender Man.
Trying to find who?
Slender.
Who's Slender Man?
He's this tall faceless man who preys on children. Because we were by a forest and we couldn't help ourselves.
So he's a tall, faceless man?
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't you trying to find him?
What?
Why aren't you trying to find him?
Because Anissa said he could help us. I sort of thought that he might kill us if we did find him, though, because he has a tendency to do that.
Have you ever met him?
No. We've never seen him.
Who tells you about him?
He's everywhere.
How do you know that?
Because I've read so many things about him.
What did you read so about him?
It's called creepypasta. Anissa thinks he's real, and she also thinks Jeff the Killer's real because there's somebody in Milwaukee who's called a Smiley Face Killer, and she thinks that Jeff the Killer's him. And then there was
Where did you look at him? Creepy what?
creepypasta.
That's a website?
It's called creepypasta wikia, like creepypasta.wikia dot something.
So you guys just kept going forward until the police stopped you?
I've been sitting here for the last, I don't know, few minutes trying to remember if I said good morning to you, Tony. So good, I can't. So good morning, babe. I hope I didn't miss you. Saying good morning to you. I couldn't remember. I put up this ticker because I want you guys to know Morgan isn't speaking this fast. She's not. She's been sped up because we have quite a bit more to get through, and I keep pausing, and we have Lori Vallow, and I do not want to miss her, arguing points in her motion at all. Here we go.
Do you know what happened to the knife after Hank got stabbed?
I put it back in the bag and walked.
Did you clean it all?
Not really. I sort of wiped it off on my jacket. It was weird. I felt no remorse. I thought I would. I still have this idea in my head that it was necessary.
So you usually, it's weird that you do feel remorse?
I actually felt nothing.
Call me Sadie. I'm so sorry. Good morning, babe. All right, so there it is. She says she had no remorse and that she felt nothing. Can you imagine sitting across from a 12-year-old kid who just says this to you after stabbing their friend, their best friend? See, and this is the part that gets me, right? Morgan and Payton had been best friends since like 4th grade. Anissa was the new girl to the group, not Payton.
Anissa had me sing for her. But she said she was scared. And she wondered what we'd gotten ourselves into this time. The last time we'd gotten ourselves into something was because a boy named Devin at our bus stop, he's done a few things. I could tell you later if you needed to know. But the last time we'd really gotten ourselves into trouble was when he said that he'd raped a lady and now he has a rape baby, and then he asked us if we wanted to be next. and then I slapped him really hard.
How old is Devin?
He's 1 year older than us.
Has anybody ever touched you or hurt you or done anything to you?
Devin, my dad, he used to shove me into walls and say, no teachers now, Mom.
Just like shoving you, or has he touched you in other ways too?
He said that he wanted to shank me in the boobs.
Did he ever touch you in your privacy at all?
Once, but it was just like this. It wasn't on purpose. He used to be all creepy and smell my hair and stuff. And then the dean of students put a restraining order on the both of us because, well, he broke my favorite Ninja Turtle hat, so I might have said a few very hurtful things to him. So then he shoved me into a wall in front of a bunch of teachers. And then he wasn't allowed to touch me anymore.
Well, that's good, because I don't want anybody to be able to hurt you, right?
Nobody really ever hurts me.
Well, that's good. So what did you think was going to happen after you stabbed Payton?
I don't really know. I figured that I'd get in trouble eventually, though. Because, Mommy always says that whatever you do catches up to you eventually. And it did.
You guys think about what would happen to you?
I did. Anissa didn't seem to think anything would happen. One time she said, can we go home yet? And then I said, no, we're going to get arrested if we go home. And then she said, oh yeah, I forgot. Thanks, Morgan. And then I said, okay. And then I think we went into a store. I don't know what store it was. But we refilled our water bottles again, and that was like half an hour before you found us.
What do you think should happen to somebody that stabbed somebody else?
I expected that I'd either get put in some sort of a weird place, or I expected I'd either get put in prison or insane asylum. I didn't know what to expect. I don't think I'm insane though.
All right, this is a very, very typical question that law enforcement will ask. Okay, and her answer is really, really interesting, and here's why. Because I remember back when the FBI sent the West Memphis Police Department a list of questions to ask when they were canvassing the neighborhood, and what potential responses could mean or could be, indicative of. And this was one of the questions that they, suggested they ask. What do you think should happen to the person who committed this crime, right? If the answer is they should be, put in prison for the rest of their life, or they should get the death penalty, those can be answers that are indicative of somebody who had nothing to do with the crime. Well, on the other side, if they answer maybe they need help, perhaps they, are crazy, something to that effect, that is potentially indicative of somebody who is involved in the crime, right? I mean, obviously, it's just something that should be noted so that it can be followed up on. Her answer that she thinks that she should go to prison is quite interesting because she was involved. And one of the things, this is what I was going to say that I forgot, that just went out of my mind. Morgan, to me, in this moment at the timestamp 4107, isn't coming across as using distancing language the way that Anissa did.
You ever thought about hurting yourself?
I've learned to make myself numb to pain on command.
What does that mean?
Vulcan mind tricks.
So you ever tried to hurt yourself?
Not really. Sometimes I do.
What do you mean?
Most of the time it's not even on purpose.
What do you mean by hurt yourself?
Well, I just fall down the stairs a lot, and sometimes I just do this, and I accidentally do this instead of this or something.
Did you ever try to take any pills or stab yourself or kill yourself?
Unnecessary pills?
Yeah.
I recently stopped taking a necessary pill.
What was that?
It was like prednisone or something like that. It was for my asthma because it was really bad and my parents made me stay home from school.
Yes, Little Red.
So you said about hurting anybody else or just Ella?
Hold on a second. Yes, she did say Vulcan. Little Red. Morgan is very. She refers to Spock a lot. Still.
Sometimes Anissa slaps people in the face for no reason, like me.
How about stabbing people? Ever thought of stabbing anybody else?
Only jokingly. Not seriously thought about it.
So not really, or not seriously?
Not really. I've wanted to hurt people before, but they're not nice to me, so they deserve it.
But Bella's nice to you. Why did you want to hurt her?
Because it was necessary.
Why was it necessary?
I don't know.
So who's been your friend? Who do you know longer, Anissa or Bella?
Katie.
Who's Katie?
She was my friend, but then she left.
Why did Katie leave?
Because she had to move.
What does Katie have to do with this?
She was my friend for the longest. She was my friend before any of them. But out of the two, I've known Bella the longest.
So why did you decide to stab Bella?
It was necessary.
Did you feel bad? That is stab one of your best friends.
I thought about it, but then I decided that remorse will get me nowhere. It's easier to live without regrets that you can just decide that you don't want to feel. Oh, don't you?
Don't do it.
Just, don't you rather not feel things? If you don't, it's a negative emotion, what's the point of feeling it?
So you don't have to do it again or stay away from it or make different choices?
Oh, right. I can't do it again. Of course not.
Right, if something's bad, then you don't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it's a good to hurt somebody else. I mean, that would be bad too, right?
Wait.
So then you like Bella?
I mean, this is a philosophical question that she's asked him, right? What she's saying is, it's no different than somebody saying, I build a wall around myself and keep myself, I make myself appear as if I'm unapproachable. That way, I don't have to let anybody in, so I can avoid being hurt. I don't want to get hurt by other people. I've been hurt. I know what that feels like. I don't want to feel it again. There's no, you know, in that context, it means nothing. But I am 48 years old and I can articulate. She's 12 and clearly cannot. I'm not saying this excuses her or anything. It's just that these responses, in my estimation, are huge red flags, right? And I think they deserve. I know that ideally, right, there would be like a standby psychiatrist at each police department, right? So that when situations like this occur, they could come in and speak to the person. Obviously, we can't have that, but it's just that some of the things that Morgan says deserve like follow-up questions, but we don't get those follow-up questions. Yes. Lavender Sky, she did. She was diagnosed schizophrenic and oppositional defiance disorder and asthma. They listed all of those. So, also, hey, Humanimal, good to see you, babe. It's been a minute. Boho Hobo, hello. Let's see. I don't want to make. I don't want to miss anybody. I like to greet you guys, but sometimes, I got to stay on task, or else, we get off in the weeds, as it were. All right, let's keep going. Again, all of these things that I'm bringing up, right? These are just questions that I have about her. It does not negate the crime. Morgan and Anissa need to be held accountable and punished for their crime because their victim, Payton, is going to live with what they did to her for the rest of her life.
I can't really tell who Anissa likes and doesn't like.
So you think she dislikes Ellen?
Probably, yeah. She always calls her, I don't want to say it. She always calls her a bitch.
Why?
I don't know. Because she's being one. I'm just assuming. I don't really know what the definition is.
So do you like Ellen pretty much? You ever been mad at her?
She was my only friend for a long time. Because
So why would you hurt your only friend?
it was necessary.
What have you been necessary?
I don't know.
Somebody told you that?
Mm-hmm. I do have another friend now, though.
Who's that?
Christian.
Who's that?
He doesn't play in my reading and writing class. He was my friend a little bit in last year, though. He was another reason I wanted Anissa to call me Kitty.
Does Anissa have any other friends?
Mm-hmm. I hate her other friends. Except
Where
for
are her
Caitlin.
friends?
Caitlin's nice. There's this girl named Frankie, and she seems to hate me. And there's this girl, and I don't know her name.
So Frankie's the one that doesn't like you?
Frankie doesn't like me. She said I was creepy. All I do is smile.
Did something happen when you tried to start a fire at your house? In your
No.
basement? No.
What are you talking about?
Did something like that happen recently?
I accidentally burnt a hole in my carpet because I knocked my lamp over, but that was an accident. I didn't even know it was knocked over. Is that what you mean?
No, I thought I heard something about maybe a fire at home in your basement.
No, my cats live in the basement. I would never hurt them. I love my cats. Cats are important.
Have you ever killed anything else, any animals or anything?
Not intentionally.
What do you mean intentionally?
Katie and I accidentally sort of killed my fish. Because Katie dumped it, it was hurting my luck that I didn't tell her that there was no, Brady thing. So she gave him way too much food, and then he got all constipated and stuff, and then he got depressed, and he always sat about in the tank like this. And then he died.
That's too bad.
We were happy when he was dead, because he always looked miserable.
Did you get a little scratch on your chin that you know what that's from?
Which,
Right
where,
here, you get a little scratch. You go over here.
we did a lot of running through trees, so.
Is there one more right here too? Okay.
I don't really.
Do you need water or something to drink?
No.
I'll be right back. I gotta go do something back in a minute. Can I get you anything?
Oh, no.
Anything to eat or drink for the bathroom?
I'm not hungry.
Sit like here a little bit, okay?
Okay. Bye.
I agree that I think Morgan is very, very, very intelligent. But as far as her playing a game with the cop, I don't know. I'm not quite there yet.
Did you want your camera on?
Sort of.
Sort of. I got it here first. Pretty sure I got it. Says it right there. So we're just talking to Anissa a little bit. Can you tell me a little bit more about what happened this morning? And what was your plan originally when you guys were gonna kill Bella?
Well, she was sleeping, so I didn't have to look in her eyes.
How were you doing when you were sleeping?
I don't know. It didn't work out very well.
What do you mean?
Meaning, we couldn't have. Well, actually, Anissa was very prepared to go with it, but she said that,
So who was prepared to go with it, Anissa?
Anissa was very prepared to do it that night, but then,
Was that last night?
yes, I found many flaws in her plan. Such as the fact of exhaustion. I know how she was in her sleep. It would never have worked. It didn't work this time, obviously, and we're never going to try again because I hope I never have to see Anissa again.
you guys originally going to do? And when she was sleeping, how were you going to do that?
Do the same way we did now, except we probably duct tape her mouth shut or something. I don't know. Whichever way would be the most logical, if there's any logic in killing people, which I don't think there is, actually.
So you guys duct tape? Do you guys have duct tape?
Actually, it worked out quite well. Bella got me duct tape for my birthday, and Anissa was like, ooh, and I was like, Anissa, it won't work like that. Because she doesn't understand what it does to you psychologically when you don't get any sleep, and what the guilt can do to you that you nevertheless have constantly underlying if you kill someone, both which mixed together would cause a mental breakdown.
Good morning, Grandma
You know,
Sherry.
Bella
Good to
doesn't
see
usually
you.
Oh, I know how Anissa
Or
can
Anissa?
Yes. Because I had a sleepover with her one time, and I don't like sleeping at sleepovers at all. And all of my friends like sleep and need sleep for some reason. But, so then she started, like, Morgan, go to bed. And then I was putting silly putty on her pillow and things. It can be annoying, I guess.
So then that didn't work out duct taping? So did you guys?
I didn't even try.
We didn't even try. That was just what I guys talked about it.
I tricked Anissa into falling asleep, telling her that I would wake her at 2 in the morning so that she could kill Bella. I wanted to give her at least one more morning.
So Lil Red says the use of the word logically by a 12-year-old is not normal at all. I wouldn't say that it's abnormal. What I would say is it's not typical. But yeah, I think it's not a word that would typically be used in this way. Right? I mean, certainly a 12-year-old knows what the word logical means.
What do you need one more morning too?
And I didn't think it would work. I didn't think any of this worked from the start. Things like this never work out. From what I've read and heard, and
You wanted to give Bella one more day?
I wanted to see if I could put it off forever, but it didn't seem to work out like that. So, what I did was, Anissa wasn't very happy when she didn't wake up at 2 in the morning, when she woke up at 5:30 instead, which was sort of because I might have woken her up a little bit, because I don't like not having to talk to people. If there's people that I could talk to, it's fun to talk to them. But, so I woke her up, and then was laid off the weekend, and then she was like, what are you gonna do now? So then,
What was your next plan after that?
what we did,
What did you do next?
I already told you.
What was that?
Stab, 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 stab.
Did you try to stab her before that?
No.
Did you guys go to the park?
Yes.
What happened at the park?
In the park, we played, and she went on the swing. I was in the bathroom.
What happened in the bathroom?
I was singing.
Singing and what else?
Singing.
Did you guys think about stabbing her there?
I think I did. I didn't think it would work.
What was the plan there?
I'm not so sure. Anissa came up with several plans. It was hard to keep track.
Then what happened?
I will say that one thing that Anissa and Morgan say that's similar to one another is they in a they talk about this plan, right? And it doesn't let's put whose plan it was, just put a pin in that for a moment, because this in this point that I'm about to make in 27 minutes, because I can't get it out of my head or out of my mouth correctly from my head. it doesn't for the point I'm about to make, it doesn't really matter whose plan it was. But the point is that what I noticed about both of them is when they refer to the plan or various plans, they both like compliment sandwich the plan. They talk about what didn't work and then they give they say what did work and then they say something else that didn't work. And I noticed that about them both. And I thought that was just interesting and worth noting. All right, here we go.
Did you do anything in the park? Did you try to hurt her there at all?
No,
Did you pull her head at all?
Anissa did.
What happened there?
I don't know, she said she tried to knock her out.
Did you see that?
No, I was busy.
Just doing what?
Searching the bathroom and checking. Because Anissa told me to sing.
So then after the bathroom, where'd you go down?
I already told you.
Where's it?
Over by the trees at the dead end.
And what'd you do there?
Stabby, stab. Hide and seek.
Okay, this is also interesting that I noticed as well. So this detective is not doing anything different than what we saw the female detective do and with Anissa. When they weren't clear about something or they wanted to talk about or revisit a specific subject, they did, right? Anissa would answer the question every single time. Whereas Morgan is done. She's like, I told you, I'm, already answered that. I already told you that. But it seems like she doesn't want to talk about it for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm not in her head. But Anissa was very, very different. And like I said, I really think that we should do like a side by side. All right, here we go.
What's that?
I already told you.
You guys are playing hide and seek.
Mm-hmm.
How did that work?
It didn't work very well because Bella, I don't think, likes hide and seek.
So what were you doing? So you told me before that you were going to do bird watching. Was that the truth or was that?
Yeah, so we did tell her that we were going to go bird watching. It was like a documentary of birds. And then he was like, okay, whatever. She wasn't in a very good mood, though. I think she thought Anissa was replacing her. Because she kept pouting whenever Anissa talked.
So you guys got over there to play hide and seek and then who hit first?
I counted first. They did.
So then what happened?
And when I found them,
So what happened?
and then Anissa did the jumpy thing and said, now more.
What do you mean the jumpy thing?
She jumped on Bella.
Yeah, Violet says, yeah, I already told you comes off as bratty in my opinion. What? But then again, what she's 12, so what do I know? I do think it does, given the circumstances, right? There's no fear. And she's clearly not afraid of the officer. And when we think back to a specific point in the interrogation between the female detective and Anissa, when Anissa is talking about what occurred Friday, which was that they had to go and pick up Payton, right? The female detective is reading it back to her, relaying it back to her, and she says, so Morgan asked her dad to go and pick up Payton. And Anissa corrects her and says, no, she told her dad. I think that's very telling about who has the upper hand. And also, one thing that I think you guys would appreciate about the second documentary and the first documentary, because it's both, they're both, there's home videos that is particular. I think it's actually more in the first one, the Beware the Slender Man. That's on Max. There's a lot of home videos taken by Morgan's mother. And I'm not going to say anything. I just think that they're worth checking out. And I'm going to leave it there. I think most 12-year-olds would have reacted. Most 12-year-olds would have been scared to be in the cop shop, quite frankly.
What happened?
What?
What happened then?
But I also think that the I already told you comes off. The other one, Violet, is on, you can get it on Apple TV or YouTube, but you have to pay for it. I think that it comes across to me as Morgan is impatient with him. Like, what do you mean? Why do you need to? I already explained it to you. Like, catch up. Almost like she thinks she's smarter than the cop because he's having to ask her the question again. But the truth is, it's not because he doesn't understand. It's because he's trying to get more detail out of her, and she isn't picking up on that. So, I mean, here we go.
And then we stabbed her.
Who's sweet? Did you stab her or Anissa? Who had the knife?
Most of the time I did. Anissa was sort of holding her down.
So you had it most of the time, or you had it all the time?
I think I had it most of the time. I know Anissa had it too.
What?
I don't really remember. We both have had it though.
So when you left your mom's house with the knife, where did you have the knife?
In my pocket. I didn't want to do this.
What did you do with it?
I was afraid of what would happen if I didn't.
What do you mean you're afraid?
That's what I said. I was afraid of what would happen if I didn't.
Afraid from who?
Everything. Something could have happened. Whatever Anissa was talking about.
Hold on 1 second, okay? I'll be right back. Okay? Hold that thought, okay?
Okay.
I'm sorry, my pen ran out. So you said that you were afraid?
Mm-hmm.
What were you afraid of?
Very much anything, because Anissa had already, just jumped on her. I was hoping that I didn't think she could forget that.
That who would forget?
Anissa. She sort of was just like, no, Kitty, and then oh my goodness, no. And I don't know what would have happened because Bella would have freaked out, and then Anissa would have freaked out at me, and then they would all be mad at me. And I didn't want to get hurt.
You didn't want to get hurt?
Mm-hmm.
Did you think about how Bella would feel if she get hurt?
I avoided that thought. Anissa said something about us having to. And I didn't want to find out what would happen if we didn't. Unless they hurt our family.
Who's they?
I don't know.
Well, why do you think that somebody hurt your family?
Because Anissa said that we had to. So I didn't know what would happen.
What's this phone? Detective Casey. How's it going? Okay, sorry about that. So Anissa said you guys had to do this? Do you know why?
Nope.
I don't know what kind of
So when
ringtone.
you guys went to the woods, tell me.
Excuse me, officer. I don't know what kind of ringtone that is, but I will be deducting 10 points from the talent portion and the interview portion each because of that ringtone. Let's keep going.
You guys were playing hide and seek, and you counted first.
Uh-huh.
And then what happened? Where did you have the knife when you were counting?
In my car. Every time I know it was in the bag. I moved it.
So you were counting, and the knife was in the bag, and then what happened?
Uh-huh. And then I went and looked for them.
And then what happened?
Then I found them.
What happened?
Tried to play again. And then Anissa jumped on Bella again. Like I just said.
And then what happened?
Are you trying to do this over and over again and see if I tell the story differently?
I'm just trying to make sure that I get it right, that I don't want to make any mistakes. So then she jumped on her, and where did you get the knife from?
The bag!
So you took the knife out of the bag,
Mm-hmm.
and then what?
And then she got stabbed.
Now, I thought that was quite interesting, and I'm going to say why. As you guys know, this is an interrogation technique my dad frequently employed, okay? Where he would ask a question at the beginning of the interrogation and ask questions completely unrelated to the topic at hand. He'd mix it up, right? Then he'd ask the same question in a different way and see if my story changed. I only fell for it one time before I learned. My sister, on the other hand, bless her little heart, fell for it every time. Never learned. Okay. I'm not a sociopath. I'm not a psychopath. I wanted to avoid getting into trouble. I will say this. The difference between me and Morgan is I would have never told my dad that I was on to him in that way. I never would have asked that question, which is interesting to me that Morgan does ask that question. All right, here we go.
Who stabbed her?
And the reason that I'm curious about, the reason I find that interesting that she asked that question is because I'm watching the side chat, and several of you guys think that Morgan is playing some type of cat and mouse game with this detective, and I can't quite figure out what game she could possibly be playing at all. Well, yes, Violet, there's that. I wouldn't have talked. I mean, there were times when I talked sideways to my dad and I got in trouble for it, right? But I guess the reason I wouldn't have let on to that is, and I actually remember thinking this, I didn't want my dad to know that I was onto his interrogation technique because I'd figured it out, and I didn't want him to change it up, so I'd have to figure out a new technique. What she said to her, okay, I think what you're talking about is something I said earlier in the stream, where I find the way that she speaks as detective interesting because so it was something that Anissa said in her interrogation. They were talking about Friday and Payton needing to be picked up. And the female detective says to Anissa, so Morgan asked her dad to pick up Payton, and Anissa corrected her and said, no, she told her dad to go pick up Payton, which is an insight into the way that Morgan relates to her parents, and as we're seeing in this interrogation, also just adults in general. That's what it was. That's what I was talking about, Margie. All right, let's keep going.
Both of us.
Who stabbed her first?
Hold on, let me rewind
How am I
this.
supposed to remember? both of us.
Who stabbed her first?
How am I supposed to remember that?
No, this is just pretty important, so just gotta try to concentrate.
Anissa or me, one of those two, of course, but I don't know.
But you stabbed her for sure?
Uh-huh.
Who's this creepy guy that you're talking about?
Which one?
Is it Slender or something?
Slender Man.
Slender Man, who is that?
He's very tall.
Ever met him?
Not exactly.
Tell me about him.
He watches you.
How does he watch you?
He can read minds and he has teleportation skills. People call it slender walking.
Yes, tell what?
He can teleport. And he has tendrils that are very sharp.
Do you see him in your dreams, or where do you see him at?
Oh, I've seen him in my dreams. But if he's shocking you, you see him in your dreams. Do you just see him when no one else does? And you start to be affected by something that's called thunder sickness because of the sigma radiation that he emits.
Say that one again?
You start to get something that people call thunder sickness. It's, he's like following you or moving because of the sigma radiation that he emits. Which is also why cameras don't work around me.
So you've never met the Slender? It's more in your dreams or on the computer?
Not on the computer because he doesn't like technology. Because it doesn't work around him. Why do you need to know about Slender Man?
Because I think Slender Man might have something to do with what's going on with this guy.
Oh.
Did Bella say anything when you guys were stabbing her?
She said two things, but it was afterwards. She said, I trusted you, and she said, I hate you. And she kept whispering, I can't see over and over and over and over again. I can still hear it. I see it as I close my eyes. It was really weird.
So I'm going to start writing some notes down about what you told me on a piece of paper here, and then I'm going to go over it with you and read it to you. Make sure it's all true. Okay. Still hungry at all, or you need anything? You sure?
Are you going to put me in prison and I'm going to rot and die?
I don't think that you're going to prison, and I don't think you're going to rot and die either. We probably got to have somebody talk to you and try to figure out what the best circumstances for you to make sure that you don't you took a casing. Okay. Oh, okay. long as you guys got it worked out, I'm good. It doesn't matter to me. So do you think we'll do a PC form if they go there, or? Mm-hmm. Okay. Sounds good. Okay, thanks for checking. Bye. Who lives with you in the Big Bend Road?
Mommy, Daddy, Ben, Smokey, Finn, Greg.
So your mommy, daddy, do you have brothers and sisters?
I have a brother and I have
What,
Pat.
does he live there?
Yeah.
What's his name?
His name's Ben.
So your birthday was on the 16th, but you had your party yesterday?
Yeah.
You sleep over? Do you always have a sleepover?
I did last year too. It was more fun last year though, obviously.
What did you do last night?
Huh?
What did you guys do yesterday after school?
Bella's mom is kinda a jerk.
So you had two friends come over? So there was Anissa?
Anissa and Bella.
So is Bella her real name, or is it short for something?
Her real name's Payton, is Bella Leutner. But in like first grade or something, there were two Paytons, and one was a boy, so he had to keep his name, and she had to go by Bella. So her second name is Isabella, her middle name is Isabella.
Do you know Anissa's last name?
Weier.
So Anissa Weier and Payton. I'll put in brackets here, Bella. What's her last name?
Leutner.
Also, I don't like the way he asked her a question and then she starts to answer it and he cuts her off because he's worried about filling out paperwork. Everything that a suspect says in an interrogation is important, even things that are innocuous, like Bella's mom is kind of a jerk. Those are Morgan's words, not mine. But that is important. And I don't appreciate that he cut her off mid-answer. Why bother to ask the question if you're not going to listen to the answer, bro? Just for next time, listen, I'm sure if I were a detective, I'm sure that there would be an interrogation where I didn't get everything, probably multiple interrogations where somebody on the internet like myself could sit here and say, play Monday morning quarterback, right? And say I shoulda, woulda, coulda. So it's just something I noticed. And I have to hold on a minute. I also have to pause for fair use commentary. So that's my commentary. Let me rewind what he asked her. All right, here we go.
Were they at your house all day after school?
Well, actually, Anissa we went over to her house first and got her stuff.
So they came to your house last night, and then what'd you do?
And then we played The Sims, and we were making a family on Sims in the create mode, and then it was a family with lots of cats, and then a toddler and a teenager, and a man and another man and another man.
It's like a video game?
It's a video game. And then we went to Skateland with my daddy.
What time was that at home?
I don't know, like 6 or something.
just you two girls went to skate room?
With Daddy's.
What time's your home club?
Maybe 10. Or 9 or 8.
What time do you think? 8, 9, or 10?
I don't know.
So after 8 maybe?
It was after 8. We wanted to leave because a girl named Isabella Parker was there.
But and Anissa and Payton were supposed to stay at your house?
And they did.
Well, thank you, Lil Red. I appreciate that. I do. I appreciate that, babe.
So when do you think it was that you started talking about killing Payton? It's only before December.
I don't know when it was. It wasn't my idea.
Was it Anissa's idea?
I think so, yeah. It was in December, so.
Of last year?
This year. I just met her this year.
See, this
Well,
is
this is 2014, so we haven't had it December yet, so it had been.
Late 20. Oh, yeah.
okay. So this is interesting to me, and just really a stark contrast to Anissa. Anissa was able to give times. I mean, specific times. Like, well, we played. There was 30 minutes of playing with the. They were playing with like silly putty or slime or something like that, and she was able to correct the detective on the timeline. She was very specific about what time they woke up, what time they went to the park, what time they went to Skateland, how long they were there, etc. Where Morgan is over here like, I don't know. And then with the year, clearly what Morgan is talking about when she says year, she's talking about school. It was this year, this school year. What he's talking about is the actual year, 2013, which he's right. December would have been in 2013. And then the crime occurred May 31st, 2014. But they're, it's just interesting the differences to me.
2013. So in December of last year, and when you started talking about killing Payton.
And don't forget, then in about 30 minutes, it's going to be Lori Vallow that we're going to be listening to. So
why did you want to kill Payton? Huh? Why did you want to kill Payton?
Hold on.
We wanted to.
Before you said it was necessary?
In about 30 minutes, it's going to be the Lori Vallow pretrial. You guys don't have to do a thing. I have a redirect. So don't you guys worry. If that's, just stick around and we'll be right there. All right, here we go.
Why was it necessary?
Because
Also, the differences in the detectives and the way that they speak to these suspects is very, very different. It appears, at least in my opinion, that this detective isn't interested in understanding the why. He's gotten what he wanted. Morgan has confessed. He said she did it. He said she stabbed Payton, and now it's about filling out paperwork, dotting the I's and crossing the T's, where the other detective asked a lot of
When
questions.
you say it was necessary, what do you mean by that?
asked a lot of questions about Slender Man specifically. No, Rachel. No. Listen, Rachel says, Jen Lou, I'm so glad you're covering Valo. I thought I was going to have to make hard choices. No, babe. Here at the ward, we do not want anybody making hard choices. Ever. I got you. Because it would have been a hard choice for me as well. So I made it easy for everybody. We finna redirect. All right, here we go.
She said you gave her a dozen this morning.
I didn't.
You little liar.
That's what Anissa kept showing me.
What's that?
That's what Anissa kept showing me.
I would never
And I believed her.
I would never miss an opportunity to take a swipe at Lori. I cannot stand her. She's the worst kind of person. All right, here we go.
What do you think is necessary?
I don't know.
So you guys, why do you guys plan to do it today?
Because we'd all be together. It would be easier.
Also, something you guys should be aware of. It is Morgan's defense team, I'll say, that is adamant that part of the reason that Morgan avoids the questions of Slender Man, it's not that she doesn't know the answer. It's that, and this is their contention, that she believes so fervently in Slender Man, his abilities, all of the things, that she's afraid to talk about it for fear of what he may do. And she is also afraid because she believes that Slender Man can read minds. So she's trying to also control her thoughts. That is what they contend. I can't say. I don't know if that's the truth. Oh, True Crime Tea. True Crime Tea says, so glad you're covering Valo too. Your commentary on her has me laughing so hard, especially when it comes to her hair. I can't believe that she thinks that, I just don't understand how she thinks that that's a good look. I just don't. I really don't. I cannot believe she has the audacity to come into open court defending herself with that hairdo.
I really didn't want it to be today though, because it would be nice to have a normal sleepover.
Okay, yeah, but Rachel, Rachel says, have you seen her mother? That's how. Okay, yeah, but then you see yourself, right? Like I've had an idea in my brain about an outfit, right? I've put that outfit on. I've taken a gander at myself in the mirror and realized how wrong I was. How has she not realized this? That's my issue. Like, how do you not know that this does
What's
not
the
look
lesson
good?
that you and Anissa talked about killing her?
I don't remember a while ago.
So you talked about it last night.
No, not really. Papa was with us.
So how did you guys decide about setting the alarm for 2:30 in the morning? Is that just before bed?
Huh?
When did you decide to set the alarm for 2:30 and duct tape her?
That was in December.
But did you guys talk about it last night
No,
or this morning?
this morning.
Okay.
Anissa told me the plan.
You gonna duct tape her and then stab her?
I don't know, probably.
Boss
I
lady,
never
yes.
really did think that that plan would work, because it is the dead of night, and how on earth are we supposed to do anything such as hide the body, so I didn't think it would work, personally. I thought
So originally the plan was to duct tape and stab her, but you didn't think it was a good idea?
I thought that we'd just make a lot of noise, because you can still scream if your mouth is shut, like smiling. I definitely still scream, because one time in like first grade I talked with my mouth closed a lot.
Yeah, I wonder if she's going to give us.
I don't know why we did this.
I also, Rachel says, I wonder if she'll be rocking the flash dance look again. I also am curious if she will be giving us bootleg Jennifer Beals. Yeah, I'm curious. Or Jennifer Beal.
So you're supposed to set alarm for 2:30 a.m.?
I didn't.
You said Anissa was mad when she woke up.
Not very, because he was sleepy and stuff. She wasn't happy either.
So how would you describe her?
Morgan, again.
Disappointed? I think disappointed is a good word to use.
Yes.
Interesting. You know why that's interesting to me? Because that's the word that I used. When Anissa was talking about this whole alarm situation, initially, she said that Morgan was nice and let her sleep in. But she goes on to talk about it some more later on in the interrogation, and it does sound like she was disappointed. She was ready to get this show on the road. In fact, Anissa, and this is what's interesting, Anissa says she woke up Morgan, not the other way around. Also, I'm hesitant to
So you guys woke up and you guys played for a while?
because of this.
When did you get the knife?
I don't remember. I wasn't looking at clocks until like 9:30 or something.
When do you think you got the knife?
I don't know.
Was it last night or do you think it was this
This
morning?
morning, probably.
Yes, Rachel, I think I love that she can't use
Where
Tylee's
was the
statements.
purchase knife on?
The kitchen. I'm never going to a park again. Not that I'd be allowed to. But I'm
Where'd
never
you put the knife on?
in my pocket.
You know what time you went to the park?
9:30.
Oh, the closed captions are having a hard time today. Yikes. I'm dirty. She said 9:30, you guys.
You know what the name of the park? You guys played there for a while or?
The playing is fun.
You guys went to the bathroom?
Yep.
Happened in there?
Anissa tried to knock Bella out. Bella got all mad and stuff. And I was pacing in circles, singing a song for Anissa.
Call me,
Why did you guys pick bathrooms, Stephen?
call me Sadie says, I wonder if Lori is trying to subpoena Jesus. Probably, and she's probably convinced that he'll show up due to the fact that he loves her the most. She's his favorite, I believe is what she said. Fucking Lori. All right, here we go.
I didn't pick it, so I don't know. I guess it is closed off from the rest of the park, but it would be very, very easy. I think she has some flaws in her thinking skills. So, obviously, I didn't choose the location.
Your planner or your thinking she had flaws?
In her plan.
So then if you guys, she tried to knock her out, but that didn't work. Did you guys think about stabbing her in there? Or?
I wouldn't have. That wouldn't have been a good idea. I don't know what she thinks. I can't read minds.
So then you said you tricked her into going to play hide and seek in the woods or watch for birds?
We tricked her into going watch birds in the woods, and then we didn't find any birds.
So then once you, so you guys walked to the area of Big Bend Road by the dead end?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'll just have it next.
You guys went in the woods? How far into the woods were you?
A few feet. We didn't go very far. Because they weren't really woods, it was just a gathering of trees.
Just a side note, the gathering of trees, as Morgan puts it, is no longer
Like
there.
how far would you say, like from me to you were in the woods, or maybe like 20 feet or 30 or 100 feet?
From this tile to this tile.
That's all further you were into the woods? All of you guys, or just you?
All of us.
So you stand her right there?
Yep.
So how did you guys, so how did that work? You guys went in and you counted first?
Yep.
And then what happened?
And then I found them. When they reached 100.
And they hid?
Mm-hmm. And I found them.
And then what happened?
And then I started to count again, but Anissa jumped on Bella. And then we stabbed her. I'm not going into detail about that.
So Anissa jumped her, or jumped on her?
Jumped on her.
And then what happened?
We stabbed her.
Did you have a knife first, or did she?
I have the right not to go into detail about it if I don't want to.
Okay. Before you said you remember, you just don't want to tell me.
I don't really remember. It happened really, really fast.
Well, I think that it's
But you stabbed her a couple times?
so Margie says, I think it needs to be either a female cop talking to her or somebody more, I don't know, kid-like maybe I'm looking for. I think that it needs to be somebody who's more interested in all of the details, like the why. Because this officer he's got what he needs, and now it's about the paperwork. And I think we're missing, a chunk of information that we could have gotten if he would have asked those questions.
How many times do you think it was?
I don't know. I didn't know I was supposed to count.
How many do you think? Like 1 or 2 or 5
I don't
or
know.
10, 50, 100? I don't know.
I think she'd be dead if it was 100.
Yeah, possible. What, a few times? A couple times?
Sorry, I'm thinking about a video about llamas, but I don't know.
5 times, 10?
I
Or you just kept doing it, or?
didn't really count.
Was there a lot of blood?
Mm-hmm.
A lot, or?
A lot. A very, very considerable amount.
This is a fair point, Rachel, but also the speed makes him seem a little more terse. You're right. But we don't want to make any hard choices at the ward. And this is what had to be done. It was necessary.
Have you established what happened?
Then we just walked away.
Did
We said goodbye and walked away. Anissa said that she'd get help.
you guys?
No.
Hold on. I just realized what I just said, and I hope I did not offend anybody. That was not my intention. I didn't think about saying that in the context in which, given what we're listening to. So I greatly apologize. We need it. We are pressed for time, and I wanted to make sure we got to listen to everything that Morgan has to say, and I also want to cover Lori. So I apologize for that, you guys. I wasn't thinking, and I'm sorry.
You said that fella said, I trusted you, I hate you, I can't see.
Hey, ATS, good to see you, babe. I mean, I also think that there's an element of.
Did you do anything to try to help her?
No.
I don't really think he knows how to take her.
Did you think she was dead?
Oh no.
Well, maybe
She
she
told me
was
not to touch her, so I stopped touching her. I did try to help though. I tried to at least clean up her wounds so that she might have been able to escape. But
Why did you try to clean up her wounds?
it was a large relief, but she said, no, just don't touch me. Sorry, that must have sounded offensive.
Then what'd you guys do? You guys left her there?
We just walked away.
What'd you guys do?
Walked away.
You say you hid for a little bit?
Because we saw police, and then they came closer, so we just ran. I don't know, they didn't see us though. 'Cause I tripped.
Where were you when you saw the police?
In a field of like tall, pointy grass and trees. On a street corner.
Like how far in was the street corner? Keep going
I don't know.
away from,
We just ran.
yeah.
And eventually we reached it and we were like, oh my goodness, hiding spot. Let's hide here.
You guys walked her, you guys were running.
We were walking because we didn't want to look suspicious. We were already covered in blood, which looked suspicious, so we didn't run.
Absolutely, Low Red. You can always email me. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bruh, I'm done with that ringtone.
Dr. Casey. Dave.
Pick a different ringtone, buddy. That one's terrible.
I was watching a plug for if you give me an option, I may do the easy way. So you think that they're probably supposed to come, or? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hey, Kimberly. Good to see you, babe.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll drop someone off just so it's there. Just to be safe. Okay, I'll drop it off. We're just looking at wildcats here, so. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.
All right,
So
so
Walmart, you filled up your water bottles and washed off the blood?
We considered the fact that we might be questioned why we were covered in blood, but then we decided it's Walmart. So there are
That's normal?
There are pictures of people that are pretty much naked at Walmart. So nobody looks twice.
okay, I have to say something. She's not wrong. She's not wrong. Okay. I find that it's sophisticated thinking that you would go into a Walmart covered in blood to clean up rather than going into like a Publix. That's definitely, if you walked into a Publix grocery store covered in blood, you would probably get noticed. But she is right. Most people don't look twice at Walmart.
Will you? Did you leave anything at Walmart?
I left my lunch.
What kind of gloves did you have?
They were lacy and my lunch gave them to me. I wasn't very happy, but I had to get over it very quickly. Because I always wear those gloves every day, so I figured, why not wear them?
Where'd you leave them at Walmart?
In the bathroom.
Just sitting out there on the floor?
On the kitchen sink. No, not the kitchen sink, just the normal sink.
What kind of gloves were those?
They were black lace gloves that don't have fingers.
Apparently, that's Morgan's one and only regret, is that she left her fingerless gloves
Yeah,
at the Walmarts.
we walked past the cemetery. Did you see us?
So this time. What else do you remember walking by?
Trees and buildings.
Any businesses? Or other parks or anything?
A lot.
Did you stop anyplace else?
No. Except for later we stopped at a different store to fill the water bottles again.
What kind of store?
I don't know, it was a furniture store.
And then what happened?
And then we sort of wandered around for another half an hour, and then you found us.
How did they find you?
Because Anissa said that we should sit in the grass. And I said Anissa was way too obvious, and she was like, no, and then we got caught. So, I was right.
Now, I have to say, because they were supposed to go, Court TV was supposed to go live like 6 minutes ago, and they're still not live. So I'm assuming there's like a little delay. So we're okay. So it's okay for me to pause. But one thing that I want to point out is this is a seemingly innocuous detail, yet a very important detail. And here's why. Anissa, in her interrogation, basically said that Morgan was the leader, she was the follower, right? That was the theme, among other things. of Anissa's interrogation when it came to who did what and who was in charge. Now, Anissa is the one that wanted to sit in the grass, as Morgan just put it, right? And she didn't want to because she thought that they would get caught, right? Now, let's think about things. If you are the leader, why in the actual F would you ever acquiesce to the follower? That doesn't make sense, which tells me I think that the truth is in the middle. I think that neither one of them was always the follower and always the leader. I think that sometimes Anissa ran the show, and I think sometimes Morgan ran the show. So I don't understand why there needs to be a narrative where one person is the leader and one person is the follower. I don't see how that helps make sense of this situation in any way, shape, or form, and nor do I see how it could potentially help to prevent a situation like this from occurring again. If you just have no people, human beings aren't one thing all of the time. For example, a bad person is capable and does do some good things. Conversely, a good person is capable and does do bad things. Nobody is one thing all the time. And so I think it's important to recognize that and acknowledge that. And I think one of the areas that we kind of go wrong in is trying to put perpetrators of crimes in a single box when the fact of the matter is they probably check multiple boxes. So Rachel says, did Payton specify one being more culpable? Payton, according to the officer that interviewed her, said that Morgan is the one who stabbed her, that Anissa just sat there or stood there and watched. Payton was also asked what punishment each of the girls should receive. And Payton wanted Morgan to receive a harsher, longer punishment because she is the one who did all of the stabbing while Anissa stood there and watched. So Anissa should get less time. I also think part of it too with Payton is that Anissa and Payton were not friends. Not really. They were more acquaintances, right? Anissa was sort of new to the friend group. Well, they were a duo, and then Anissa made them a trio. But it was recently, like October of 2013. And I think that the feelings of betrayal, anger, and hurt would have been deeper towards Morgan because they were friends for such a long time before this happened. So I think it would have, if it were me, I would have been more pissed at the person who stabbed me and also betrayed me. So I get it. I think Payton's feelings were valid and are valid. All right, here we go. We need to keep Sadie and Alice from ever becoming friends. Call me Sadie, or Sissy, excuse me, because if those two got together, imagine the shenanigans they would get into. They would be a crazy combo.
So when you got picked up, there was the purse. And what was inside the purse?
I don't remember what was all inside the purse. We put pictures of our family inside the purse because Anissa said we might never ever get to come back. I didn't like that idea because I would have missed my daddy.
So what else was inside the purse?
The knife, granola
Which knife?
the only knife we had.
Knife did you guys stab
Yep.
Bella with?
I accidentally put holes in
That's alright.
my toes. And, water.
I think everybody else was.
I'm sorry for bringing you through all this trouble, sir.
No, I'm trying to do this. I think that you need some help, somebody to talk to, and try to work out some of these things that you got going on.
What do you mean?
Well, thinking about, what does he call this guy? Mr. Slim?
Slender Man?
Slender Man? I mean, those thoughts probably aren't real. And to think about stabbing one of your very good friends probably isn't the best thoughts to be having. Right?
Probably not.
So you know that that's wrong to do, right? Yes, no, maybe.
But lots of people listen to Slender Man.
How about stabbing your friend? Do you think that's right or wrong?
Probably wrong. If it were right, I wouldn't be here.
That's right. You can't go around stabbing people, so that's why I think that maybe you gotta get to talk to somebody to get some of these things worked out so you don't go around doing this anymore.
I think it's legal to stab someone if they try to stab you first. If it's self-defense.
In some situations. But do you think that that's what happened here?
Oh no, I'm just wondering. Because I think like 8 months ago, Devin and I were arguing about whether or not it was legal for self-defense to use. Not 8 months ago. We haven't had 8 months of school. Probably like 5 or 6 months ago. I was just wondering. I'm not planning on getting in any of those situations. Just so you're
Okay.
knowing.
Okay, I'm gonna read this to you, okay? See if this all makes sense to you, okay? If there's anything that's wrong, you let me know and we'll change it. So that I currently live at 1434 Big Bend Road, number 2, with my mommy, daddy, and my brother Ben. My birthday was on the 16th, but I had my sleepover party last night. Yesterday, Anissa, Weier, and Payton Leutner came to my house and we played Sims, which is a video game. Around 6 o'clock, my daddy took us to Scaling. Got home after 8 p.m. Anissa and Payton slept over at my house. In December of last year, Anissa and Michelle started talking about planning to kill Payton. I wanted to kill Payton because it was necessary. This is what Anissa kept telling me, and I believed her. We planned it for today because it would be.
Just really quickly, just so you guys know, I have Lori's pretrial hearing stream pulled up in another window. Tote's keeping an eye on it. They haven't gone live yet. I think we're going to have a situation like we had last time where it's a little bit delayed. So, but as soon as it's live, I will end this stream. You guys will I'll end this stream. I'll start the other one and y'all will be redirected. So when I end the stream, don't leave the chat because it'll just redirect you if you stay. All right, here we go.
Easier, and we would be all together sort of didn't want it to be today because I wanted to have a normal sleepover. We talked in December about duct taping Bella and stabbing her while she slept, but I didn't think it was a good idea. I was supposed to set off the alarm at 2:30 a.m., but didn't. Anissa was disappointed when she woke up and the alarm had not gone off at 2:30 a.m. We woke up and played for a while. I don't remember what time it was this morning. Probably I got the knife from our kitchen. I put it in my pocket. At about 9:30, the three of us went to the park by my house. We played for a while, and we went into the bathroom. Anissa tried to knock Bella out. I think Anissa had some flaws in her plan. I didn't choose that location. Then we tricked Bella into going to the woods to look for birds. We walked to an area by Big Bend Road by the dead end. We went into the woods by a gathering of trees. I counted first and then hid. Then I found them. Then I started to count again, but Anissa jumped on Payton. Then we stabbed her. I don't really remember what happened next. I stabbed Payton. I didn't count how many times. There was a lot of blood. Anissa said we could get help, but we didn't. Bella said, I trusted you. I hate you. And I kept saying I couldn't see. We didn't do anything to help Bella. Bella said not to touch her. I tried to clean her wounds with a leaf. We left Bella there. Anissa and I walked away. We hid because we saw the police. We were walking and we didn't want to look suspicious. Then we walked to Walmart. We filled our water bottles and washed off the blood. We had a lot of blood on us. I had gloves that I left at Walmart by the sink. They were black lace gloves with no fingers. They had blood on them.
No.
Why did you leave them there?
What?
Why did you leave them there?
It wasn't intentional.
No.
I love those gloves. I wasn't happy. But sort of just shrugged it off because I really wasn't.
Why did you have the gloves on?
Because I always wear the gloves.
Okay. Then we started, I wrote, this was unintentional. Then we started walking. We walked past a cemetery. Later we stopped at a furniture store to fill up our water bottles again. Then we wandered around for another 30 minutes. Anissa wanted to sit in the grass. And I said it was too obvious that we would get caught. The police found us a short time later. When we got arrested, I had a purse, which we had pictures in it in case we never saw. Should be our family. Again, the knife we stabbed Bella with was inside of the purse. Is everything that I just read to you true and correct?
Yes.
Is there anything that you want to add or change?
No.
No? Okay. Do you want to read this over?
No, you just read it to me.
Okay. Do you want to look over the pages then?
Just so you know, when this part of the interrogation happened in Anissa's case, she had plenty of stuff that she wanted to add at it, wanted added to it. And her statement was much longer than Morgan's and much more detailed.
Sign the bottom of each one. Put your name on the bottom. 3 pages here. You want to read it over and then sign 3 times next to the X. And then now you just put your initials right there.
What do I do?
Write your name there, write your name there, and write your name there. Can you just do this right there where I added that, please? Right over here. Perfect. It's 7:15 right now.
Thank you for telling me.
You need something to eat or anything?
No.
Okay. I gotta go check on a couple things. If there's, I'm not sure if it's possible or not, but did you want to see your mom and dad in a little bit here or not really?
You know that it's okay. This part I don't like. He knows that it's possible. He does. In fact, I believe that Morgan's parents are actually waiting to see her. They thought they were going to pick her up. They thought that she was a witness to something. That's what they were under the impression of. So, of course, they gave them permission to question her. That does bother me. It does bother me the way they went about this because It's not a good look. I know it's all legal. It just doesn't look good. That's all.
Maybe.
You want to think about it a little bit? If you want to sit tight here, I'm going to check, and I'm going to go check a couple things, okay? We'll be back in a little bit.
All right. So while we watch Morgan be alone in the room and see what she does, this
Okay.
was clipped.
What's going to happen is because of what's going on,
All right. Well, before he actually arrests her, I want to tell you guys something that's not in this interrogation video that wasn't included, and it's probably because it wasn't included when the channel requested it. It might not have been included with it. But Morgan is sitting in that chair at the before he starts asking her questions. She's wearing the clothing that she was wearing when she stabbed Payton, okay? And the first question she asks is about Payton. And she calls her Bella. Where is Bella? What's happened to Bella? She's asking about Bella. Anissa's first question was, how far did we walk? The answer to that question is 4.9 miles. Where they were actually intending to go was 300 miles away. They intended to walk 300 miles. So I think that, hold on. Let me put this. Nika Dika says, I think Anissa was a follower and a pleaser to some extent. I think she told the cops what she thought they wanted to hear because she knew what she did was wrong, but not as wrong as Morgan. Right. Like, I think that Anissa, I actually am under the impression of the opinion right now, after having listened to both of these interrogations, I have not changed my mind. I do feel that both of these girls, Anissa and Morgan, found their missing piece and in each other. But I also think that Anissa took steps to be less culpable than legally than Morgan intentionally. That's just how I feel. It might change. But after listening to both of these interrogations, there's a stark contrast. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together a video for us to go over where we look at the two interrogations side by side, because I think that's important. And I cannot stress this enough. Morgan being mentally ill and having schizophrenia does not negate her responsibility, her accountability, and her culpability. All that it really changes is where she should be punished. That's it. And for how long? We're not there yet. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this stream. Thank you guys all so much. Oh, let's listen to her be arrested. Hold on. Then I'm going to end the stream. Then we're going to go to the next live. All right, here we go.
did you know what shelter care is at all? No, it's a place where kids that have gotten a little bit of trouble go, and they hold them there until they can figure out what's going to happen with them. So that's where we're going to take you right now, okay? You bring our inhaler. Are there pockets of those pants that you got? You got your watch here in your house. You can put me that too. Put that in your shirt pocket. I just got to punch with that in there. I have to handcuff you and take you over. Okay.
The other thing that I need to point out is that it's been asserted that Morgan likely has been suffering from, let me not say it like that. It's been asserted by her defense team that Morgan has likely been experiencing symptoms related to schizophrenia as early as 3 years old. So when we talk about where, like, how she's doesn't appear to be having some sort of like break with reality, if it's true that she was experiencing symptoms of schizophrenia since she was 3 years old, then the voices and the colors, whatever hallucinations she's seeing and hearing would seem normal to her, and it's all she would know, so she wouldn't have a reaction, right? So I think that's important to think about as we move forward. If that's true, right? Well, Robert the Bruce, only in see, to me, I don't know why he would be in Miami. Just from all of the literature, it seems like Slender Man prefers cooler, less muggy climate. It's not a whole lot of like foresty areas for him to blend. I don't know, but maybe he's on vacay. I mean, you can only take so much cold, damp weather, right? A person can only take so much before they might need to go someplace, sunny and a little tropical, as it were. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and end this stream, and don't leave the chat. It'll take you right over to the next stream. All right. Give me just 1 second. All right. I don't want to play the outro. Hold on a second. Let me just fix something really quick. All right, I'm just going to end it. All right, here we go. Bye.